Hello and welcome to the spring quarter of our Senate meetings. I'd like to take a special welcome to the members in the galley, but also an additional one to the new members who have joined us on this horseshoe. All right, to formally introduce their joining us, I will proceed with our agenda on roll call. Okay, first, Senator Christian Arredondo. Present. Senator Reem Blake. Present. Senator Traylon Bradley Bowles.
Present.
Senator John Doe.
Present.
Senator Fabian Escobedo.
Present.
Senator Ali Isles.
Present.
Senator Jackie Jacoby. Senator Colette King.
Present.
Senator Delaney Koenig.
Present.
Senator Priscilla Perret.
Present.
Senator Jason Ramirez.
Present.
Senator Herman Senga.
Present.
Senator Summer Schaefer.
Present.
Senator Katharina Segna.
Present.
President Pro Tempore Devin Plazo.
Present.
Personnel Director Ashley Harana.
Present.
Marketing and Promotions Director Raveen Rathod, late excused. Elections Director Stephanie Rose.
Present.
Outreach Director Jessica Ortiz.
Here.
Senate Secretary Adelia Chakri.
Present.
Parliamentarian Momo Hussain.
Present.
Vice President of Campus Internal Affairs Fernando Echeverria. Present. Vice President of External Affairs Abraham Galvan.
Present.
Vice President of Finance Iris Shang.
Present.
President Nafi Karim.
Present.
And myself. Okay, continuing on our approval of the agenda for members in the galley, we do have spare agendas right at the front table by the microphone there. So if any of you wanted to peruse exactly what we'll be discussing in tonight's Senate meeting, feel free to take a copy. One quick change before I open up the floor for motions. Legislative Review Committee subsection 1 and section F will be replaced with Elections Committee update. So everybody mark that as we go through. Thank you very much. Okay, so at this time, I would like to open up the floor for approval or amendment of tonight's agenda. Senator Delaney Koenig.
Are you gonna amend?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
All right, External Affairs, Abraham Galvan.
I would like to add myself to the agenda, please. I don't know wherever you want.
A presentation?
No. It's just, it's for SLC. I have to get 2 members, their eligibility approved by Senate.
Okay. We can add it to presentation.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. We will add you right afterwards, after section F, before section G, in presentation by External Affairs, Abraham Galvan. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the adopted agenda?
Point of inquiry.
Yes.
So the change that you made to the committee updates, does that include moving LRC to the front?
There is no LRC. It's replacing with. It was. It's supposed to be elections committee.
So when will the Highlander referendum?
During
During elections.
Okay,
that's
perfect.
Yeah.
Can we move that up to the front after?
It is the first thing.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay. Senator Blake, would you like to make a motion?
Yes. Motion to approve the agenda.
Sorry, can I get a minute?
Oh, yes, Irish Director Jessica Ortiz.
Is it possible to get public comment after, or additional public forum or public comment after the election?
The public comment will be specifically on things that have happened during the course of the Senate meeting. Imagine it can be considered an additional public forum if it's on things that have transpired since Senate meeting. So,
Do you want me to handle that?
She wants to know if the public can comment on the referendum proposal.
That would be during public comment.
yeah.
Unless they want to bring it up during
No, that's
public
our
forum,
forum.
then we can talk.
Right. They're actually be equally applicable in both areas of the agenda.
You want it before? Yeah.
So public-
Just-
So public
Do it
forum.
during public forum is first.
Okay. And then is it possible to have myself sit down during public forum to speak?
Yes. Okay. We have a motion on the floor by Senator Reem Blake to approve the amended agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, I think I heard Fabian's first. Senator Fabian Escobedo, second. Okay, all those in favor of approving the agenda? All those opposed? And abstained. By a vote of 15-0-0, the agenda passes. And I'd like to give thanks to our new senators who have now just cast their first vote. Everything else is Davis. Okay, we will now proceed on to the next item on our agenda, ex officio. So at this time, if there are any ex officios in attendance, I would love to extend the invitation for you to come up and speak. Simply sign your name in on the sign-in sheet we have at the podium. I saw it literally half an hour.
Literally not here.
Mine.
Literally not
Okay.
here right now.
Can we, is it possible to have it up there for that?
Are we gonna get it back?
Yeah, we'll get that. I'll put up a new one next week. I just assumed it was one that was permanently there.
No, this one is mine.
Okay. Well, thank you for your generosity.
Thank Jessica. Thank you, Jessica.
Okay, and, okay.
Just one name. Do you want any of them? Since none of the transfers were contacted.
No, I took the names.
Are you sure? Because I don't, they didn't respond to me. They didn't get contacted.
Okay, and time begins when you're ready.
Do you just want my name?
Yep, that's, and
Tina? 1 second, I write that. Okay, hello everyone, my name is Courtney Parker, I'm from RHA if you don't remember me. So this quarter is going to be actually really busy for RHA, but just the past about week and a half, we actually held info sessions last week for our elections and our interviews for our executive cabinet for next year. Those went pretty well. We had local senators come express interest in running for cabinet. This past Monday, we just elected our next executive president. So this person will be here next year, which is kind of bittersweet. But yeah, her name is Chelsea Nair. She actually serves our current lumber building president. So she'll be taking over next year for executive president. So that's exciting. I'm accepting applications until this Friday for our building president positions, and next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be our elections, and then following Tuesday will be our last one. So that's it so far. There's much more to come this quarter, but that's it for now. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you so much. Were there any ex officios in attendance that would like to speak? Okay, seeing none, we will now continue on to public forum. It's during this section of the Senate meeting that I would like to extend an invite for all members of the galley that would like to come forward to present to Senate on any new business. Something new that we'll have is I will be setting a speaking time. We'll set a total of 15 minutes for public forum. There can be a motion to extend should the need arise. This is not an individual speaker time, so just be a total, so feel free to talk, be able to express any of your opinions. So yes, please, anybody who'd like to wish to express their opinion on have Senate's ear for anything, any new business, please come forward. And time begins. And time begins when you're ready.
Hi, my name is Sina Mohammed, and I'm California's new chapter chair. Hi. My name is Melina. I'm the campaign coordinator for the Anti-Violence Committee. We just wanted to give you a quick update on our lead campaigns this quarter and our efforts to strengthen our funding system. So one big thing this quarter is that we're up to 44 partners, which is kind of crazy, and it's a lot. This quarter, our lead campaign is our Recycle Solar campaign, and Riverside's one of the sunniest cities in the country, so we're trying to do as much as we can to call on City Council to adopt policies to make solar power more affordable and accessible. One of the things that's pretty cool is that we're up to 3,000 petitions that we've collected this quarter from students and staff and also faculty that support solar power, which is pretty cool. And later on this quarter, we're having one of the biggest events for our solar campaign, which is our solar power concert. It's going to be April 24th, and we've already booked a few local bands, and Councilmember Mike Gardner is also going to be there. So mark your calendars, April 24th, you should be there to see me on the show.
I just wanted to give you another quick update about our textbook campaign. So today we released a new report called Open Textbook, the $1 Billion Solution. And according to research done by our US firm, Higher Education Advocate, if one student had one of their traditional introductory level textbook replaced by an open source textbook, it would save on average for one student $128 per class. And so it means that if every full-time undergraduate student nationally would replace only one traditional textbook by open source textbook each year, it would save annually $1.5 billion nationally. So that's a big number. And for UCR students only, it would be $2.3 million savings on textbook costs for students. So we're really trying to push for that, and today we have a press release for this report. And our campaign coordinator for textbooks, Daniel Kelly, spoke to Abe Gavin, and the press enterprise showed up to report.
Yeah, so finally, I just want to give you an update on our campaign to restore our original funding system. So as a lot of y'all know, we've been working to restore our original funding system. We've been in talks with the UC Office of the President for months now, and we're still working on getting the support because they haven't approved it quite yet. Recently, yesterday actually, it's pretty big news. We heard from word of mouth from one of the UC regions that President Napolitano generally supports our ability to be funded via campus vote, which is pretty cool. And we're going to be still working hard over the 2 days to get her to officially support our campaign to restore our original funding. And we appreciate any support y'all given us. Yeah. So thank you for supporting us this quarter, this year, and yeah, just in general, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you remain at the podium just for one quick second for questions? I saw some interest on the gallery. Marketing Director Raveen Rathod and President Pro Tem Board Devin Plaza.
Hi all. This isn't really a question, but I think your solar power concert is going to be really cool of an event, and I just want to encourage you, if you're trying to get the word out, there is one more spot available in that week's issue of the Highlander for a free advertisement. So if you want to submit an ad by next Thursday at noon, I can run that in the Highlander. So you can email me for more information about that.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Yeah, thank you.
I was wondering if you had a time and a place for the solar power concert.
April 24th.
12 to 1 and 5 to 9. Cool. On a Friday. If anybody has any suggestions, my friends dance to play. We're taking suggestions.
Where is it going to be?
Bell Tower.
Actually, yeah, I'll have a suggestion. I'll talk to you after.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Were there any members of the gallery that would like to come forward to speak?
Okay. Hi. My name is Jonathan Pham. I'm a CHAS student. I'm a second year business major. I'm here to talk about something that's going to be discussed later today, specifically the Highlander Empowerment Referendum. So this referendum would give permanent funding to each of the 7 ethnic and gender programs right now. And as someone who frequents literally every single one of the ethnic and gender programs, I see across the board there is understaffing, there is severely underfunding. Earlier in the last quarter, we had a town hall with our chancellor, and he assured us that there would be no cuts to the ethnic and gender programs, but we can't just let it sit there. We need room for these centers to expand. We need permanent funding. I see each of the directors and how much work they put and dedicate for the students. And it's more than just a 9-to-5 job. Some of them are actually here in the audience waiting for this decision. They represent so many students. We need more funding for this. As senators who are elected here by the student body, mostly through the ethnic and gender programs who have given you your positions, I think it's a fair thing to ask that you support these ethnic and gender programs by helping us get the funding that we need and deserve. And as the chair of the Diversity Council, this is something we've discussed for a long time, and we've all decided that this is something we're going to advocate for and that we desperately need. Time is now. Please help us out. Yes.
Okay. Anyone else from the public that would like to speak?
Hello everybody. My name is Michael Gamboa. This is my 5th year at the campus. I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about here, or what I'm supposed to. But just to give a little more background, 3 years ago I ran for ASUCR. It was actually the first year they had political parties. My political party is Our Voice, as you probably can see. So I guess, I've been involved in various capacities on campus, and this year I just stepped a little bit back and I've kind of been just floating around, but I was informed recently that there's a part, I don't know how this whole party thing is not working because I've been a little detached, but I was told that, you need to get like permission or something to get like the party name or to pass on stuff. I'm not sure, I guess it's like a copyright thing. So I was told that there's another party, it's not technically Our Voice, it's Our Voice. Which to me, like the distinction is like very minimal. And I think this only upsets me because of how long I've been here and what I've seen. And I know that there's people who I know who are running now who had asked me if they could run using my party's name. And I think I'm probably the only one, if not like one of two people who are still here for my party. So I told them, like we at least intend to be a progressive slate, so we failed miserably. It was a year laptoping was made illegal, but then people still laptopped and won, and well, it wasn't really worth our effort to like keep fighting it, so we decided to go our separate ways. And actually the reason why political parties exist within ASUCR is because of the original Our Voice, which came the year before me, and so they were actually a slate, like unofficially, even though there was no such thing as like institutionalized parties. So I guess, like I said, what I was getting, I think the reason I was upset is someone had asked me for permission to run with the name, or if it was okay if they did run the name, and if they had done it, I wouldn't have been too mad, but I had told them, out of respect for the original party and its original intent, that they didn't do so, and they respected my what I had to say, and so they didn't do that. They went a different way. They formed their own party. I won't mention any names. Then I guess I was told that there was another party, that was called Our Way. So I don't know. I guess I was just curious as to like, is that just gonna like be there? Is there a way? I mean, I don't know what power there is. I don't know if I'm just like randomly angry, or if I'm just been here too long and I remember a lot of things. So I guess I was just wondering like what the deal with that is. And then also I just want to echo everything Johnson said in like supporting the Highland referendum. It's really important. We've been trying to get this for a couple of years now, and it's really necessary, especially the way that like, your funding is going on this campus. And I'm not going to be here to see the effects of it, and that's okay. For me, it's enough to know that it actually went through and passed. So I'm fine for that. So I don't know. I guess I'm not sure if I'm even waiting for someone to address that issue, or as far as like the name, or if it's just how it is because it's technically different. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Before you leave, I think we could have our elections director, Stephanie Rose, help answer that question.
Hi, thank you for coming. I wanted to address your question. So first of all, as you mentioned, there is an obvious difference with the Our Voice and Our Voice. It is spelled differently. You did point that out. But secondly, I wanted to reference the elections code. So it says if the party signatory fails to re-register the party by the end of the winter quarter, and there are no ASUCR elected officials affiliated with the party is considered to no longer exist, and the party name may be claimed as a new party as outlined in this article. So because there are no elected ASUCR officials on the horseshoe that tried to claim your party, and you're the party signatory, correct?
Well, I mean, I don't know, it's like technical jargon to me.
Well, there's one party signatory per party. So whoever the party signatory is for Our Voice, they would have had to re-register the party. And because of that, Our Voice could be continued, but like I said, Our Voice is a different name.
Okay. Thank you. Oops, sorry.
Ashley Ryan.
Hi, my name is Ashley Hirano, and I'm the president running with Our Voice, and I do just want to apologize before. I don't know, am I not allowed
Point
to
of
say that?
personal privilege.
Sorry.
I would just encourage you. I think you're fine as you are right now, but
I just want to apologize.
Yeah, no, you need to stop.
I think you should.
I would discuss it in a outside
So
this.
I would just encourage you outside of the horseshoe to come in communication with whoever's running with Our Voice and have them maybe explain to you what exactly happened. Because of our elections code rules, I think it's very murky to have those candidates address you right now, which is why I stopped that conversation, but you could definitely do so at another time, and I'm sure they'll reach out to you.
Yes, and I would love to speak with you after if you would like to.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. There are 2 minutes left in public forum.
Hi all, I'm Nancy Tubbs. I directed the LGBT Resource Center since 2000. And I just want to give you an opportunity to ask me questions about the Highlander referendum, Highlander Park referendum. And I just want to make one statement to add to Johnson's voice, which is one of the things about this referendum is it not only helps the ethnic and program offices, but in the end it will help all of the services funded by student service fees, because basically what we expect to happen is if we get permanent funding, all the funds that are temporarily been given to our offices, none of us have had new permanent funding in 8 years. That money would be released to be used in the way that the Student Services Fee Advisory Committee might wish to do so, whether it's the Career Center, Counseling Center, Student Life, or whatever. So not only would allowing students to vote on this in the ballot, if it passes, it not only helps those 7 centers, but it helps all of student services, in my personal opinion. But I also just want to see if y'all had any questions from a staff person's perspective on this referendum.
Abraham, got one.
Yeah, Nancy Jean, so is the text of this referendum and the process in which the money is going to be allocated the same as last year? Because I know that, at least I had heard that there were some issues with admin.
There's one important change.
Okay.
The language has been added saying that there will be a designate by the chancellor on this committee, and in the end, the chancellor will give final approval. That is the same process that's used with the Student Services Fee Advisory Committee. So it's actually kind of bringing it into the same protocols as current student services fees. So I understand the reasoning behind that. But in the end, RSAC, which is the Referendum Supervisory Committee, which will be created to oversee these funds, just like the Student Services Fee Advisory Committee, students will have the power to decide how to approve the budget requests. But there will be representation by the chancellor or the chancellor's designate on the committee. Other questions? Okay, so I'm going to do other folks, I'm going to sit down.
Before continuing on, time has expired for public forum, so if there's a motion on the floor. Irish Director Jessica.
I motion to extend time.
Do you have a specific time?
As many speakers.
No, you need a definite comment.
Okay, 13 minutes.
Thank you, Irish Director Jessica Akitas. Time has been extended by 13, motion by Jessica Akitas to extend time by 13 minutes for public forum. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by President Pro Tem Board Devin Plaza. All those in favor? All those opposed? And abstain. Okay, by a vote of 1401, time has been extended by 13 minutes. Okay, so the next speaker, if they'd like to address the Senate, please come forward.
Hi everyone, my name is Angelica Ik. So I just wanted to talk about again the referendum. As a student, not only have I used the resources in these different facilities, but I've also found myself as a student here on our campus through these offices. Not only do the offices provide like printing, computer labs, renting, events to help us academically succeed for your campus. They've also provided a home away from home for a lot of us. A lot of us have found our leadership within these offices, and through the events that they host, a lot of us also have participated in planning out these events. And we bring in our families and we promote our culture through these offices and the events, and it's really important for us to continue having these events, having the offices expand, whether it's not like, well, for a lot of us do need to expand, find new rooms, the ASUCR Center, that's a 5 minute room, but I feel like not only do they need to expand in resources and things like that, but financially, these offices, it's crucial for them to have more funding, especially because we're the funding that it's receiving is something, it's based on a population of students that doesn't exist anymore. We've grown as a campus, and as an office we haven't, and I feel like that's, what's up with that, like the funding that we're receiving is not supporting all of our students, and when it's difficult for directors to plan out events when the funding isn't there, especially when hosting events during the summer, when hosting events for middle school students, elementary school students, high school students, like it's really difficult when there's a limited budget or even no budget at all. It's difficult funding as like Raza grad is coming up, Black grad is coming up, and it's like where's the money going to come from if it's not for students funding it? So I feel like we as a community, as students who also come to this campus and may or may not come into these offices, y'all should vote for the referendum. Thank you.
Do I have to write the name?
Just use it, please.
Do I have to write it?
Yeah, just write it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Daniel Lopez. I was here last quarter with the food pantry resolution. So thank you all for that support. And I'm actually here again for the food pantry. So we're having, I'm here to talk about the 3 things that we're doing. So we will be having meetings Mondays from 3 to 4 at Chicano Student Programs. We've already met this week, and if you're interested or you know of anybody who is interested, you can direct them towards Chicano Student Program on Monday from 3 to 4 for our meetings. Also, I'm working with another student on campus to create a can collection event, and we will discuss that in further detail on Monday in the next meeting. And then also another huge thing that's coming up this Friday from 3 to 5 is a cleanup of a building/room at the community garden. So if you're interested in coming by and helping out, I'll be providing food for anybody and everybody who comes. And so if you're interested, just contact me and whatnot. Also, another thing is, as everybody has been saying, the Highlander referendum is something that is very important, not just as growing as a campus to accommodate to every single student need. For myself, when coming in, I just assumed, okay, I'm gonna come to campus, I'm gonna go to my classes, go to the library, read, go back home, and then do that routine again. But after 3 years of being a student here, I've noticed how much I've been shaped by all the ethnic and gender programs on campus. They provide so many resources, and you can't really put a price on the types of resources that they provide the family, the unity that is felt within these offices. It's amazing. And not only is there that unity, but also the openness of these offices to take in new students. Myself, I've gone to the Asian and Pacific, the LGBT Resource Center, and the Middle Eastern Student Resource Center, which I'm really happy is open now. Not identifying as any of those, but every time I step into these, through those doors, I feel welcome, and I know that I can go there for anything that I need, whether it's going to be printing or it's going to be like me having a breakdown midway through the quarter and I need somebody to talk to. These offices provide this safe space for students to talk to, and it's not enough to just have the Rivera Library, which is amazing. They do amazing things too, but these offices provide a resource that no other office on this campus can really provide. So I urge you, please vote yes to having this referendum on the ballot.
Senator, before I move to the next speaker, Senator Jackie Jacoby, did you have a comment?
Oh, yeah. I'm fully in support of the referendum, completely, like totally supportive of it. My only question was, in regards to centers that are listed in here receiving funding, I was just wondering why they chose, or it was decided to not include Hillel as part of the departments, because they are in Costa Hall and are severely underfunded.
If you want to save your comments,
Oh.
Senate has to discuss it after. This is just
Okay, that's
public
what I was
forum,
asking.
so Senate will
Okay, got
discuss
it.
it during my report.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, Senator Jason Ramirez.
Yeah. Sorry. So for the last speaker, exactly when is that cleanup for the Argonne? Because I'm very, very interested.
Friday, 3 to 5, 3 at Community Garden.
Thank you. This Friday, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
this Friday.
I'm so sorry.
We will continue now with the public forum, please. The floor is yours.
All right. Hi, my name is Mercedes Corredo. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Highlander referendum. I'm just here to give my 10 cents about why it should be on the ballot. For me personally, I'm a returning student, so it was really hard for me to adjust to coming back to school. And seriously, I know just not naming one place, but I really found a home at CSP. It wasn't until I walked into CSP that I felt more at home, and I actually started getting involved here. So to hear that there's possibilities for every program, or the programs that they said to get funding would be very important, because I feel like sometimes as students we feel a little bit alienated just coming to campus, moving away from home and stuff. And just giving funding to these places helps out, and putting together events, not only for people, not just for certain people, but for everybody to learn a little bit about what they stand for and stuff, and also giving space to other students, to go in, and they also have resources and stuff that are free to everyone, obviously. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Hello, y'all. My name's Grant Nakaoka. I'm a second-year anthropology major, and I'd just like to reiterate the same support we've been hearing for the Highlander Empowerment Referendum. So for many of us, UC Riverside will be the last community that we're a part of that is this diverse. And a little bit of background on myself, I have lived in Louisville, Kentucky, East LA, the South Bay, and Hawaii. And although all of those places are extremely diverse and wildly different from each other, UC Riverside is the first place that I have learned, I've probably doubled, even tripled my knowledge and openness to all the different cultures, cultural backgrounds, ethnicities, religions than I have in my entire life of living in these diverse places. And I feel like that's a very important thing to continue. UC Riverside is, I believe we're still the 7th diverse in the nation, and I'd argue that's the case in the world then. Because this is such a unique experience that we all have to take advantage of, and we should take advantage of that while we're here. It's a beautiful thing to spread your cultural background, your practices, your religion to other people, and it's necessary to create a more open-minded and peaceful, loving world type stuff. So basically, with that being said, this Highlander Empowerment Referendum would give us the funds, Costa Hall the funds, to continue to produce these programs and potentially create more programs and then increase the attendance of these programs and cultural sharing and things like that. That's what I have to say about that, so please vote yes.
Hello everybody, my name is Nick Carrillo. I am a third-year student here at UCR, and I love being at UCR, and I thank you all for coming and listening to all of us today. I'm here to talk about a little bit more about the Highlander Empowerment Referendum, and I want to tell my personal story. I currently work at the Asian Pacific Student Programs Office as a student coordinator, And let me tell you, it is the best job that I've ever had, and I really love working there. And knowing that the position that I have is temporary it's kind of a shame, because next year will be my last year. I will be graduating after that. And this is a position that I think should go on for the rest of UCR's existence on this earth. Because it teaches you a lot about understanding people. It teaches you, being in the Ethnic Student Center provides a good common ground for everybody. Helps you understand one another, not just as students, but as human beings. And that's definitely something that I've learned here as a student coordinator at Asian 16 programs. And this should be something that future students get the opportunity to do, get the opportunity to work. And increasing our budget allows me and my fellow coworkers and fellow office members to put on the events that we want to put on, so that we can further promote the culture here on our campus. That's all I have to say. But thank you so much for listening to me.
Great, thank you. Before I move on, time has unfortunately yet again expired. If I can get a motion, please. Senator Delaney Koenig.
I move to extend the time by 35 minutes.
35 minutes. Okay. Seconded by Senator Rita Lake. All those in favor? All those in favor? All those opposed? And abstain. All right, by a vote of 11-1-3, this passes. And we'll continue on with public forum. I believe that next speaker was on his way up.
Salam. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. My name is Brian Cruz. I'm a second year document student. And I'm participating in document student programs, also in Native American student programs, and I support many other mentoring centers. And I'm just here to elaborate on, first I want to recognize my privilege and our privilege to not only on what land we're in, Korea land, but also the people here, as a document student, as a worker, as a student. I recognize that this time is valuable. The fact that I'm able to talk, the fact that I'm able to share my story, the fact that I'm speaking up here shows that I do have the time. Many of us have busy schedules, many of us don't have the time to even be talking to y'all. So I want to recognize that. As far as recognizing the people that do deserve the credit, people that, being a document student, there's things that I worry about besides academic needs, living situations, and even personal necessities like food and even love, like when emotional health. That's what people tend to turn away from, besides the legal help. And so when you're undocumented, you're stuck in this position where you don't fit here, you're really not accounted for. And so having centers, having the Native American Student Center, who really do validate you, who really do see the humanity in you, who really are there for you. When you're hungry, they feed you. When you need help, I don't have a computer laptop myself. I don't have resources myself. It's just when you're actually putting in money into places where a lot of students go and really depend on their students like myself, people that really benefit from it. It's like their academics are based on it. Like, I spend more of my time in the actual resource center than my actual home. I only go home to sleep. Like, I'm just being real right now. Like, being the real as I can and just being straightforward. Those are my homes. Those are my people. That's where I belong. You know. And so overall, just really think about the people that it's gonna affect. Think about the people that you are representing. And overall, I just want to thank you all. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
Sorry about my hair. Hi everyone. I'm here as a student. I'm really active in the student program. I think this diversity and empowerment, it'd be great. Unfortunately, it didn't pass in the past. But there's these programs are limited, so how many events you can have every year. But the events that they do are awesome. I don't know if you're all aware of the last quarter. Chicano Student Program hosted a series of different empowerment discussions, right? It was like, once a week, and I was able to go to some of them, and I was able to meet other people like myself, because to turn on the TV or like to go out and try to talk to professors, I don't really relate to a lot of professors, because there's mainly like white professors, right? And Chicano Student Programs brings a lot of people here, or creates a space for me to see someone like myself and relate to them, and see that maybe one day I will be able to succeed, maybe with a PhD or whatnot. But these events are limited because of the lack of funds. And if this was to pass, we would be able to not only me and the Chicano Student Program, but every single space. And all these spaces are open to everyone, even if you don't identify as Chicano or whatever it may be in the program. All these events are open to everyone. So it's not exclusive like I've heard in the past. It's really inclusive, I would say. We don't, there's no discrimination when you walk into events or anything like that. And if this was to happen, it would give the opportunity for more students to be here, and get involved one way or another through different events, and maybe lead an event, because this would give an opportunity. For example, the Women's Research Center, they have a internship where you could create an event, and they basically sponsor it and help you like get a room for you and stuff like that, and that's really cool. Imagine like it was bigger for everyone, then it would be even a lot better. So I'm here endorsing this referendum, and hopefully you all vote the correct way. Yeah, so have a good one.
Was there anyone else who wished to speak? Okay, seeing no one else, we will continue on with section. All right.
I'm not sure. Stella Cunha, Director of Chicano Student Programs. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you for that. I wasn't sure if we need to address the question that was brought up earlier by Jackie, or should we wait until after the discussion? I know it was kind of paused, so I wasn't sure.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Just really quickly, just to clarify, I think the easiest answer right there, the question was why wasn't Hillel included as part of the referenda, given that they are physically housed in Costo Hall. They are considered a student organization and not a department, so that's the reason why. If they were all campus departments, and so we weren't recognizing student organizations, that would be very difficult, given that we have a lot of different, within Chicano Student Programs, we have at least 35 different Chicano Latino student organizations that we represent, so it's a little different in terms of how the university funds departments versus organizations. So you have Student Life, ASUCR, different places that fund student organizations, so that's why it wasn't included, just to clarify. Okay? And then just really quickly, the Highlander Empowerment Referendum is in front of you tonight, and we really want you to consider the possibilities of the growth and the expansion of these programs. As you heard our students said, they're the ones that really inspire me to do what I do on a daily basis. And it's their voice that we want to make sure that's heard. Many of our students of color on campus are often come from marginalized communities and continue to be marginalized on this campus. So for us to create these spaces for our students is so important to really validate their voice and their experience as students of color on our campus. So very important. Many of our students talk about when students are in crisis, or we're here to celebrate the success, but also help navigate those challenges that we face as students on campus. So it's not only the growth of programming, I think, is so important, because one thing we can't expand our events, right? We just had our Cesar Chavez 5K, not funded at all by student services fee. So we have to fundraise, get sponsors, we have to charge for a lot of our events because we don't have the funding to make them free. So for me, one piece of it is programming only, right? And it's about having a presence here, it's about the education piece, it's about the exchange, about the knowledge, the dialogue. That's one piece, but the other piece that sometimes people don't often feel or often see is the physical space. what we do to support our students on a daily basis as they walk through those doors to make sure that they are validated, that we are there to listen. And yes, we do stay late hours. Yes, we do stay and speak to our students during lunchtime because we are committed not only to our students but this campus. So we really talk about diversity, but it's really about what does diversity mean to us? It's quality diversity. It's about how, it's not just about numbers. It's how about we treat each other, how we connect with one another. So this referendum would definitely put us at a place where we don't, actually it's not enough. You know, it's something that's a good start. And I think it's for us to have some kind of sense of permanency because majority of us work on temporary funds. So every year I have that daunting task of submitting our budget. And they're always talking about be, fiscal responsible and think about, we're in a budget crisis, but we're in a bigger crisis in terms of our communities and we're not continuing to put value. When we value departments, we put money and resources attached to it. So although we say we value these departments, we haven't grown since I've been director for 10 years. So what does that say to our campus and to our community? That we are not valued and that we need to continue to put those funds in. I am the last person to put this responsibility on students. I understand, I work with undocumented students. We work with students that are coming from poverty or for dealing with having to work 2 to 3 jobs from middle class families. So we understand like our student body here at UCR. We understand it. And so it was really tough for me even to make the decision that how do I, look at the bigger needs of the campus and the students, and then also looking at the real issues of the students facing a tuition increase. And so we don't want to put the burden on the students, to carry that, but I think sometimes, we have to sometimes make those choices and those sacrifices to kind of continue to build and grow for the campus and for the students. So just thank you for listening, and we look forward to working with you all either way, and we hope that you do, obviously you're going to make a choice tonight, and we're here also to answer any questions that you may have. So gracias for listening, and thank you.
Would you be able to take pictures just from on the other side of the camera? That's no.
I was like going back.
Were there any other speakers who wish to come forward? Okay. Seeing none, we will continue on with our agenda. Next on is our committee updates, and we have our elections committee. So at this time, I will turn it now over to our elections director, Stephanie Rose.
I just, or this might be parliamentary procedure, but I do know that the 3 candidates, or sorry, the 3 senators that just joined have not been sworn in yet. And I know, according to our bylaws, chapter 15, section 2, it says that in order for them to be held accountable to the ASUCR Constitution, they need to be sworn in. And so I don't believe that their votes will count. So I don't know if you all want to do that now, or if they should just abstain from voting, or if they just would not vote at all. But that's maybe a question that Momo or someone else can answer. Thanks.
We'll reference our parliamentarian from that as we continue with our meeting. Okay, continuing on, we'll have an answer to that really quickly. At this time, I'm going to let Stephanie Rose. There's also a closed session following this meeting that addresses that.
I know, but I just don't want the Highlander empowerment referendum to be put at stake if anyone leaves, and for us not to meet quorum because they're not actually sworn in yet and held accountable.
We meet quorum without.
In case someone else leaves though, or consider a little
Okay, we'll be double checking the bylaws and everything is going forward. Okay, thank you so much. In the meantime, I will have our elections director, Stephanie Rose, continue.
People have to leave those right now. People have to leave like right now, that's why they're like saying.
That's okay. No, go ahead.
She's saying like leave.
Oh, because remember I need to leave
Where's the
right now?
Should we to, we're gonna come back.
We have 15 minutes. Form is not. We're fine. Okay, Stephanie, you have the floor.
Hi, good evening, everyone. As you probably have seen or heard, the elections campaigning season has begun. So I have a brief report tonight. Each of my committee members will be giving a brief announcement. And the reason why we're doing it in this order is because we want to allow Senate discussion for the Highlander Empowerment Referendum. So we're each going to have a brief announcement, and following that, we will go to Senate for discussion and vote. So starting with Jason Ramirez to Allie, Colette, Herman, and Abe, each of my committee members will be giving a report.
Hello, everybody. All right, so I'm going to try to keep this really short. So I only have two things to report on behalf of the Elections Committee. So Elections Week, which is times where all students may vote, is going to be April 27th through May 1st. There will be polling stations. You can go online to elections.ucr.edu, and on there it has the elections times, and hopefully soon enough we'll have polling station locations and things like that. Also, one thing that we wanted to point out, or I want to point out as well, is to make sure that for those parties running at all, to keep your posters up and constantly check them. Some of them don't look very well in the hub when the wind kind of tears them down. They're kind of flapping in the wind. That looks really bad, and I don't think the hub is very appreciative of this. Unfortunately, the Elections Committee is rather nice and kind of went around, and for some posters that work, we kind of fixed them, but I want to reiterate that that is not our job to do that. So please make sure that if you guys are putting posters up or have posters up, that you guys, I don't know if you guys want to run on your group me or something.
You all?
You all?
You all?
Oh, you all, sorry about that. That you all check your group me or what have you, and make sure that you all have your posters up and looking nice, because today during the elections debates, they were not looking very well. And I know more posters are going to be going up soon, so please keep that in mind. For all you candidates, please keep that in mind as well. And that's all I have for you all.
All right, hi everybody. Just briefly, elections have started. We've had 2 debates thus far, and they've been going pretty well. Friendly reminder to stay away from negative campaigning for the upcoming debates. Make sure everything's positive. Make sure you're running because, of your values, and don't put anybody else down. On a kind of happier note, I guess, the Elections Committee has decided that we are going to have members of the Elections Committee attend any and all party fundraisers, events, so anything that y'all are hosting, we will have Elections Committee members there. So, yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm announcing that there are 3 parties in this year's election. The first one is Bracket, YOUCR. Second one is Bracket, Our Voice. And the third one is PAC. Also, there are 2 independent candidates. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I also have a quick announcement. I want to thank all of you that came out to our debates. They've been very successful. I also want to announce that we still have 2 upcoming debates. One is going to be next Wednesday, April 15th, and that's going to be the Executive Cabinet debate. And then the week after that, on April 22nd, also on Wednesday, is going to be the presidential debate. And these debates happen from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock at the Hub. And then lastly, we also at the end of for the last section of the debates, we have an open forum questions, and we allow anybody to ask those questions. And we've actually placed a box on that table right over there. It's like a clear box, blue lid. So if anybody in the galley has any questions that they would want to ask, either the executive cabinet or the presidential candidates, feel free to write down on a slip and put it in there, and we'll aggregate them accordingly and ask them on those websites. Thank you.
Okay, and for my part, so first 2 things. First off, I want to remind everybody on the horseshoe to be very careful of the way that you're speaking on the horseshoe, because you're not allowed to campaign in any ASUCR space. So things like, for example, that you should avoid in the future and in this meeting are announcing your affiliation to any party, announcing your candidacy for any specific position, or anything like that that you think may be construed as campaigning, because the Elections Committee will be watching out, and I'm sure you know that other people will probably also be watching out. So just a reminder of that, because I know that it can be a little bit difficult to like know where the lines are for that. But we'll stop you if we feel like it's happening, just to avoid any issues. So that's the first part, and then the second part is I want to remind everybody who's running for office that currently holds a position in ASUCR to continue doing your work. And the reason for that is because you are running for another position, but that doesn't mean that you absolve yourself of the duties that you have in your current position. And you should continue to take your current position as seriously as you would your new position in the future should you get it. I can assure you that the student body will judge you not only by your campaign, but by the value of the work that you're doing while you're campaigning. So continue to do your work. That also goes for any supporters of any party or any independent candidates. Continue to do work, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you to my elections committee members for that. Oh, do you have a question?
Oh yeah, I had a point of clarification. In regards to the campaigning in ASUCR spaces for candidates, that is different though when it comes to like referendums though when they're campaigning for themselves here though, correct? That's a different.
Because we're voting on it tonight,
Okay,
that's allowed.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are allowed to discuss that because Senate will be voting.
Okay, got it.
Also because it's not, so there's that part, and it's also not on the ballot yet. So they can't, like for example, once it's passed, if it gets passed and it's on the ballot, they can no longer come and say like, vote yes or something like that.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, perfect, thank you.
So once again, thank you to my elections committee members for giving those brief announcements. Now we can turn to something that I know everyone in the gallery has been waiting for. Michael, if you will pull up the Highlander Empowerment Student Services Referendum. And this is where I'm sure Michael would like to open it for Senate discussion.
Okay. At this time, I will take a speaker's list. Okay, very lively.
There are no hands.
Okay. President Bush, report down.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Highlander Empowerment Referendum.
Point of parliamentary procedure. How we resolve the matter of the new senators. The reason for me why I'm saying this is I think we need to do either two things: have the new senators abstain from these votes, or do a swearing-in ceremony right now. Whichever one we choose to do is fine. What I don't want to see happen is, because I know that they're not supposed to be voting, so this could easily go to judicial, and I would rather avoid any votes being questioned or anything like that on important matters. So I don't know, however y'all want to do it, I think either way would be fine.
We'll hear from our parliamentarian when we're saying I'll be able to have the final matter on that.
Okay, so I looked at the bylaws and I double checked with the Constitution and my Robert's Rule source. The bylaws say that they have to be sworn in to be held accountable to the ASUCR Constitution, and there's a student conduct thing that you guys have to swear to as well. So if there's nothing saying that you're prevented from voting, but like Abraham said, he wouldn't want this to be held in front of judicial for lack of transparency or something. So it's inconsistent. It's at the chair's discretion.
So with this, since it is inconclusive, but recognizing the sensitivity of such matters and considering there hasn't been a swearing-in process in order to adhere to the Constitution, I'd like to ask that the new senators withhold from voting. It would be an abstention.
He says abstain too. Yeah.
Senator Jason Rivers.
Quick question. Is there so I know that they've been kind of going through some training the last week or so. Is there any reason that they didn't get sworn in during that time? I'm just curious because I feel like if this would have been done earlier, we wouldn't even be facing this, and we'd be saving, I guess, some time in discussions.
Well, I can answer that. Usually the swearing-in ceremony, now of course they have to understand this is a bit of an unprecedented thing when I talk with pro staff. It's very rare for us to have an alternate come in.
And everyone has to be present.
And usually everyone is present at a ceremony for that. So considering the extenuating circumstances, we'll have something that's conducted from ECAB and pro staff as well to be able to carry that out.
Point of parliamentary procedure?
Yes.
I was just talking to Reem, and I believe if abstaining is considered voting, so.
Withholding your vote. It doesn't count, it's not voting, it doesn't count for a yes.
Yeah, voting to abstain isn't.
But it's a number in the minutes. Like point of parliamentary procedure, what my interpretation or what I would encourage the three senators.
The reason that they're not being included is because we don't want the vote of the actual referendum to come under like fire or something like that, but they're still here.
Like, to continue, what I would recommend is for those three senators just to recuse themselves and just not participate in the voting and consider themselves like ex officios until closed session, so perhaps when they're sworn in. That's just my words of advice on the way I think we should proceed with this.
Thank you for your point, Thank you for your point, Senator Herman. I'm going to continue with my original ruling. I'm going to ask that they not recuse themselves, simply that they abstain. As Momo was pointed out, there's nothing in the Constitution or the bylaws, it's been double checked, there's nothing preventing them from voting. However, just due to the sensitivity of such matters, and as our External Affairs, Abraham Galvan, has pointed out, the sensitivity of such things has led me to believe that the best way forward, the traditional way forward, is that they abstain. I'm going to continue with this ruling, so thank you very much. And I believe that, I think someone might have made a motion on the floor. Yeah, okay. Senator, I'll restrict it here, you can ask that.
Is there a problem with them swearing in now that everyone is present?
Well, there's just a ceremony, and there's actually a specific way that it's done. Unfortunately, I don't have the materials here with me.
So you are not planning to swear them in?
Oh, I was gonna, this is something that will have to be brought up during the closed session, so we'll leave it till then. I'm sorry, I think this has been I believe this has been a solved issue, so I think we're gonna continue. Abraham Galvan.
I think what they're saying is, or maybe I just feel this way, I think if we can swear them in, I think it would be great, because I do think that they should be able to participate in such an important vote. Obviously, if that's not a possibility, the next best alternative is what we're going with already. Do you think that it's like absolutely impossible for us to do the swearing in ceremony at this time?
I don't have the materials for the swearing in ceremony. If we could, okay, here's something that can, okay, here's what we're going to do. Okay. I'm gonna open up this vote to Senate. Considering the supervisoriness on this, then, all right, the two options I can lay out. This will be a vote to either, if you wish to take a recess for them to be able to have a swearing in ceremony during that time so that they can be able to participate in the vote, we will vote for yes. And if no, we will continue with the original decision. Okay, does that seem fair to everybody? Okay. The recess will be as long as the swearing in ceremony takes, so I'll set it for half an hour.
So for
Actually, you know what? I can probably set it for about 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay. I forget that it's not the entire slate that we're swearing in.
Yeah, what does the galley prefer? Like,
Please try to keep this to one speaker at a time and hold out your hand if you wish to speak. Elections Director.
Would you just mind addressing the galley so they understand why Senate feels it's important that we take the recess to swear in the Senate?
Oh, absolutely. No, that's very important.
Just so they understand.
So as it stands, because we do have new Senate alternates who have come in to assume new positions for this quarter, the swearing in ceremony is something that I will leave up to a vote for Senate on whether or not they wish to partake in the vote, or with the original decision or ruling that I made prior, in which they would abstain from the vote. Now, as our parliamentarian, Momo Hussein, had concluded, there is nothing strictly in the Constitution that forbids them from participating. However, if the Senate, and I'm leaving this specifically up to the choice of Senate, deems that they should not participate until having been sworn in, then that will be the call to make. And so, at this time, I will open up the floor to the motion that I've made on motioning for a recess for 15 minutes for the purposes of a swearing-in session. Can I have a second, please?
Great.
Yes.
I would like to ask the Senate alternates what your take is on it, because I know that sometimes these ceremonies are special because family and friends attend these. ceremony, so would you all have a preference for either way? Because I think we should take that into consideration before voting, because I do understand that this is a really important matter, but since we do meet quorum, I think it's really up to you all.
Senator John Dell, yes, you have the floor.
I can't speak for them, but I appreciate that looking out. But I think my vote on this is pretty important, and I would like to vote on it. So I mean, being sworn in would be nice. Thank you for looking out.
Okay, yes, I also agree with John Dell. I think I really want to vote on this, and as much as I would like my family friends here, I feel like that's not as important as them all getting their opinion. But I'd rather just vote now and do the everything.
Yeah, I agree. I already kind of looked over the thing and highlighted every part of it before I came here, and I think it'd be awesome if I could vote on this thing.
Okay, great, thank you so much for the input. Okay, considering this, by the way, for the point of inquiry, if I could get a second on the motion, which is to vote for a 15-minute recess for the purposes of the swearing in. Do I have a second? Seconded by Senator Reed Blake. All those in favor of a 15-minute recess? All those opposed? And abstain. 811, this motion passes. We will reconvene at 7:55 p.m.
And so the cold storage building is a building located in the back corner of the garden. It's been there for 8 years. It was, in the past, it was used for research from faculty, but it wasn't touched for 8 years, and it's kind of like the inclusive space of the greenhouse and the cold storage. But we're really excited about the cold storage building. When we walked into this space, like I wish I took a picture because it looked like somebody was actually living there and squatting. It was really dirty and everything. So we've made a huge restoration and change to that. And we're really excited because it could be used for so many things, for an office space for Tino to extend hours and even more for people to access the garden. You know, it could be a possible location for food, for the food pantry, at least, you know, the perishable goods that we have for them. It could be used for a seed bank, for dinner parties. We have these awesome, like 10-foot tables in there, and I just started standing and restoring those. And conferences and workshops open to like the campus and other organizations, and also just extra storage for the garden. So next slide. And then this is a picture of the greenhouse in the back. It's just a shell. It's been there for 8 years, but, oh wait, is this Nick or?
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is our greenhouse. It's the back of the garden, the northwestern part of it. And we're planning on developing an aquaponic system, which we'll use to grow our own additional crops. And it will also be an area used for demonstrations and workshops. And we also have a project planned with UC Santa Cruz to put transparent solar panels on the roof. So it's a self-sustaining greenhouse.
Okay, and next slide. So we have, there's a number of senior engineer design projects going on. They may have adjusted some of them, but I know for a fact that these senior design projects will be working at the garden. So we have the gray water project, greenhouse efficiency project, and hand and produce washing basins and soap plants group. So it's really awesome to see all of these senior groups coming and collaborating and working on these interconnected projects together to help out the garden. It's really exciting, and it'll be great to see them out there and see what they come up with. Okay, next slide.
Yeah, so Fortino's vision for the garden was always to be a place that collaborated with other organizations on campus and within the community, and not just focused on itself, but also spread out and really donated and, again, collaborated with other organizations. So this quarter, I think the garden has been a place where we've given out donations to different organizations. And this quarter, I got the opportunity to donate to the Soup Kitchen in Riverside with an organization called Project Food. And then we're also collaborating with the Food Pantry. And so we've got all of these really cool networks where we're donating and maintaining our own projects at the same time.
Next slide. And so we have a lot of future goals ahead of us, like establishing a farmer's market, a food pantry, extending the community plots, creating a compostable toilet, a shade structure, including trees, movie nights, and more furniture. So
so it's our long-term goal to establish the farmers market on campus. And we're working really hard on getting our first farmers market to be on Earth Day, April 22nd. And we're collaborating with dining and different organizations on campus to do that. And we're also working with UCSB and UCD on developing a sustainable and consistent monthly farmers market on campus.
So yeah, just to speak on to that, like UCSB and UC Davis has been working on a kind of a shared common practices for establishing farmers markets, so they've been a real help. So actually, I just heard confirmation that we will be having the first farmers market on Earth Day, and Bob Knight is helping us with that, and he's connected with 33 local farms in Riverside. So please get the word out on that and make sure to go out and support this farmers market. So this is a one-time deal. Essentially, we would like to do a bi-monthly farmers market. He's only doing this like a one-time thing, so it'll be really important for everyone to show their support at this farmers market to just, get the word out. So when we actually make the connections with the farmers in downtown Riverside to come out to our farmers market, we can show them like, look, this is how many people came out to this farmers market. We will, it will be successful if you come and do a farmers market with us. Okay, next slide.
So yeah, we've been working really closely with Daniel and the Food Pantry, and we're hoping to continue that relationship by opening up the cold storage area for them to be able to house their food and perishable items, as well as educating folks who are going to be utilizing that pantry.
Continuing with the community plots, we're also planning on expanding them. So right now, at the moment, they're all placed at the southern end of the garden. So we have a lot of space on the western portion of it, so we plan to expand it to there and bring in a lot of people.
And so we also have plans to build a compostable toilet in the future. It's a long-term project, but it's really cool. I don't want to go into too much detail about how it works. If you have any questions, you can ask me personally. We're really excited because it'll save us renting costs for the porta potty that we have now, which is a necessity at the garden, just for health reasons. And it also helps avoid all the costs of like installing new plumbing and everything. So that's really cool. Next slide. And then we're looking for a shade structure, especially as summer is coming a little bit closer. It's gonna get a lot hotter. I experienced the summer in the garden, so we're going to really need a shade structure. So the possibilities are endless, but we're really going to need collaborators and students from engineering to really go out and make designs and help us out there. So let us know if you know those connections. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we're hoping to plant trees in between community plots to kind of have shade and a place where students can come and do their studying or just hang out and relax. And we have a couple donations from the rare fruit growers that we've currently planted by the orange groves behind the gate, and we're hoping to dig those back up and plant them in between the plots.
So I had a successful grant last summer to do free summer movie nights at the garden, which was awesome to educate the community about different things and impassion people to be more sustainable and involved. So I really hope to continue that over this summer, so you can look out for those events. That's all I have to say. And then we're also repurposing pallets that were actually used for the solar farm right next door to us into usable furniture for the garden space, because as more people come, more people need places to sit. So that's really exciting and it's fun. Yeah. And then
just as a closing statement, it's been an amazing year to be a part of the garden and just see it grow and everything. And it's this internship changed from a quarterly internship to year internship, and that is so awesome and necessary for the GCAP interns to have like a yearly internship. It just expands the growth, the learning, and just the involvement with the community and stuff. So thank you. And if you guys want to say anything about your time? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to affirm what Tracy has said. I don't think that doing this just for a quarter would have really taught me anything about the kindergarten. And I'm really appreciative of the time that I got to spend there and sustainability and permaculture and all that different really awesome stuff.
I feel the same way.
Very loquacious. Okay, and then the next slide is just like a promotion for our social media. If you want to keep up to date with what's going on in the garden and when you can come in and visit and pick free produce and whatnot, just you can look us up on Google. You see Riverside Community Garden, and that will link you to Facebook where we post most of our events and info. So thank you for giving us this space to let you know what's going on. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much for presenting. GCAP's definitely one of our favorite communities. Our Director Jessica Ortiz and Jeff.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you so much. As a student that goes in and picks strawberries, snow peas, we got to learn how to make kale chips. It's awesome, and I enjoy the time that I spent at the food pantry. And over spring break we came in a lot, and they said we need to get rid of our fruits, and we didn't have a problem eating them. So we definitely appreciate the fact that you take the time out to plan and take care of the garden. I know a lot of the students benefit off of it, not just on their own, but I know we had just a recent donation, and we had a harvest for the oranges for our 5K, for the Cesar Chavez 5K that just passed this Saturday. So thank you as students that volunteered and as runners. It was amazing to see that the oranges that they were eating were from the garden on campus. So it was a great experience, being the fact that Cesar Chavez was a labor worker, a labor rights worker. We went out and we picked those oranges. We went through the same experience. So it was very educational. It was very just inspirational to do that, and to do that with students on campus, with my community. It was just amazing, and I just wanted to thank you, because without you all, the community garden wouldn't be as successful, and I wouldn't have had those amazing oranges.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jackie, did you go?
I got so weirdly emotional.
Oh,
I don't know why. I haven't even been to the garden yet. But just I'm so in awe, and I'm so happy to see this. I had no freaking idea how incredible this place was, and now I'm so overwhelmed. And I want to organize maybe an AS trip ASAP to this garden to help out for a day. That could be our spring retreat, going to the art garden. I'm freaking working there and doing that stuff. And your passion, I love it. I think this is amazing, and I fully support all of your endeavors. The Shake Shack trips were freaking awesome. Keep it up. I'm really happy to go. I want to go every single day now. So you did awesome. This looks wonderful. Props to you, and props to GCAP for this incredible initiative over the past year. I can see how much you guys love it. You all love it. And yeah, just props.
Thank you so much. Digging down.
Oh, I look forward to digging down. I went to it last year and it was amazing, so I'm looking forward to this year as well.
Thank you so much for presenting. Thank you.
Great job.
We all feel exactly as Jack.
Looking over me. Somebody took some vegetables.
She's taking pictures right now.
Vegetarian
Okay. Proceeding on with our agenda, next we have our outreach committee. So I will turn it now to our outreach director. I think that's the second time I've done that today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So thank you all to the individuals who are in the galley.
Shout out.
No, I just wanted to make announcements. So we do have people in the galley. So just announcements, I guess, to all the Senate, everyone watching on the Highlander. With outreach, we are going to be meeting. Unfortunately, we do not have our committee date. Our committee time and date set for our general committees. I'm waiting on a few schedules, and but we do have the event that I've been looking forward to, that I've been mentioning all year. We have an outreach event happening this spring. We also have the amazing outreach hearings coming up. The applications are already out, as they are during the whole year. The deadlines are almost set. Because we haven't met with our outreach committee, I wanted to make sure that the days are approved by them as well. But I did speak to Fernando, Iris, and a few of the senators that are on my committee, just to get an idea of possible dates. So as of now, it is tentative, but we're looking at the Friday, the 24th of April as our outreach hearing. So we'll give the students about 2 weeks, and then of course the 2 days before the outreach hearing is when the deadline will be. Same thing as every time we have the outreach hearing, I'm open to having meetings with these individuals. I look forward to working with different organizations, different departments. I always am excited about having outreach events. I know we had a few that are going to be happening over the summer that had already applied in the winter. So I've already been approached by 3 organizations, and I'm looking forward to meeting with other organizations to be able to have the amazing outreach events that we have every year put on by students and funded through ASUCR. So I look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Proceeding on to our last committee update, we have our finance committee. So I will turn it now to our vice president, Iris.
Hi everyone. So finance hearings for this quarter will be on Mondays from 4 to 5. We're accepting grants only, and they are for up to $1,500 for a one-time event. It must be on campus and open to all students. Yeah. Oh, and it only goes up to week 5. So I think the end of this one. And we had one grant proposal this Monday, and it was for a grant for Gamma Phi Beta 1500. That's it.
Motion to approve.
Oh, I move to approve this grant proposal.
Okay, motion by Vice President of Finance, Iris Shane, to approve the grant proposal. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Vice President of External Affairs, Abraham Kaplan. All those in favor? Okay, all those opposed? And abstain. All right, by a vote of 12-0-0, this passes. Okay, next on our item agenda, we have public comment. So we have oh, that's right, my mistake. That's right, we have a presentation added into the agenda.
Yeah, so it'll be really quick, hopefully. Yeah, you never know. But so for the student lobby conference, I haven't finalized a delegation yet. I'm still waiting for some travel contracts from some people. But out of the original people that made it onto the delegation, after the selection was made for all the delegates, that's when we checked eligibility for those individuals. So we don't check your eligibility until after you're accepted into the delegation. So once we did that, it turned out that there were 3 students that were ineligible. One student's ineligibility isn't anything having to do with Senate, but 2 other students' eligibility is something that I had to bring to Senate. So I won't say the individuals' names, but 2 of the individuals that were selected as part of the delegation were ineligible because they had attended twice already. It's at my, so what the policy is that you can attend, for example, I can go even if I've attended like however many times. My staff can go if they've attended however many times, but anybody else that's not external affairs, they are only allowed to go up to twice. So what I need to do in order to make them eligible to attend, so what I've done is I've already given the spots to other people because I couldn't save any spots for anybody that wasn't eligible, but I need you all to vote whether to make them eligible or not. And if you do make them eligible, I will put them at the top of the waiting list so that they can just get the spot that they would have had. And I think it'll be very likely that they will get into the delegation with how things are looking right now. So that is, I'll make a motion unless anybody has any questions for me before I do so.
Okay, Senator Herbert Seco, Parliamentary Woman to say.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, I'm not entirely sure if you knew, but why do we have that policy that you're only allowed to go twice? Is there a reason behind that?
Yeah, so actually, so one of the things that I did immediately after being elected last year was propose this revision for the travel policy. And actually what it used to be in the past was that you could only attend once. But I changed the policy because I knew that some of the people that were elected into Senate had already gone before, and I thought that it was important for those officers to be able to go during their term when it's more useful and when they're actually representing the student body at these conferences. So I made a policy change and Senate approved it to change it to 2, but it still gives Senate the discretion to allow people to go more than twice, which is why I'll be asking you all to vote on it. If you want to know individuals before you vote, I don't think that it should matter, but if you want to know individuals before you vote, then we can take this matter into during the closed session, if that's important to all of you.
Senator Summershed.
I was just gonna ask if you could like tell us how many people were in, are you taking, like how many people for the delegation and how many people like applied?
Oh, okay, cool. Taking 47, or at least I'm hoping to. I just need to make sure I have travel contracts for all 47 people before I can take them. So I'm hoping to take 47. About, I would say 94 applied. 3 of them were ineligible. There might be more that applied that are ineligible. I just haven't checked their eligibility yet because they haven't been accepted into the delegation. I did have, for everybody that wasn't accepted, except for those 3 individuals that were ineligible, I put every single person that was not accepted into the waiting list. So far, I would say I've admitted about 10 or 11 people from the waiting list, as people have either dropped or not turned in their travel contracts on time.
Thanks.
Parliamentary Woman to say.
I have low-key 2 questions. Can I get where's our travel policy, just for like my own saneness, and then
It should be on the website.
It's on the website, right? Okay.
If it's not on the website, I can.
And then my second question was, are the people, or are the students who replaced the ineligible students, are they first timers at SLC? And do you think that would it be their first time going, and do you think their experience as first timers would be more beneficial to somebody who has the experience to actually effectively lobby, like in your judgment?
Yeah, so the people that replaced them, I did not regard what year they were. It was just based on their application. I can access, I did ask what year, but I didn't give any special.
Not year, like the amount of times they went.
Oh, the amount of times they went, I also did not check that because that is not something that is checked until after they're admitted into the delegation. Because that's the process by which you check the eligibility. I will say that I do not think that student lobby conference is one of those conferences that needs to be used more so to give people experience to go to conferences. I would say that that is more so what Congress or what the Students of Color Conference can really do. And the reason for that is because when we're lobbying, I would think that we would want to have the individuals that are most experienced. Of course, there's still a substantial amount of people that are going that it will be their first time and they will learn everything they need to lobby. But it is beneficial to have those people that have gone multiple times that can kind of guide the individuals. I often use those individuals as room leaders and whatnot to be support system.
So would you say there's a lot of first timers going this year, or relatively? Or
yeah, I would say there's probably about half the individuals that are going will be their first time, and then of the remaining people, most of them they've gone once before, and then there's a few individuals like Brianna and myself that have gone twice already. And if these students are made eligible and they end up making it to delegation, it would be a total of I think 4.
For sure.
Senator Summershed.
I vote to approve these individuals to be eligible.
Okay. Motion by Senator Summer Schaefer to, could you restate that for the minutes, please?
I vote, I move to
Allow it to.
allow, them to be eligible to attend us.
Okay. Senator Summer Schaefer, I think I caught Delaney, so you have a second. All those in favor? All those opposed? And abstained. Okay, by a vote of 10-02, this passes.
Thank you.
Okay, now proceeding on to our next item on the agenda of public comments. For members in the galley who would like to comment on things that have transpired in this Senate meeting, please come forward and we would love to hear. Okay.
Well, I think we're going to talk about it.
Not all at once, please.
So many items on there.
All right, well then, with that noted, we will continue on to roundtable and announcements. I will begin from my right and work to my left. Sorry, right. I think I have to just change it up. I only have two options. Senator Jason Ramirez.
All right, so two things. So the first thing is, for those of you, I don't know how many of you guys went. I'm not going to be completely honest. I don't. You all. The whole alcohol situation last Thursday was pretty fun. I don't know if those of you guys went. I know it was also Reem's birthday, so I have belated you. I told you all day about it anyway. But hopefully, actually, one of the business interns was the one that kind of put everything together. Unfortunately, she kind of got into a little accident, and so it wasn't as organized as we had kind of planned. However, we're planning for a second one, and hopefully some kind of show system will be provided. And I'll give you all more information on that in the coming weeks, hopefully when we can plan that. If you all want to come to the meetings, they're tentatively Thursdays at 10 a.m., and we will be meeting inside the ASUCR office. We usually just find some kind of space. That's the first thing. The second thing is going off the whole art garden situation. I think it's a great initiative. If you have not been there already, you should go. It's a great place. My specific senior design group will actually be laying down some piping to actually filter the water that goes through the agricultural runoff and goes through. It's a big messy situation, but we will be doing some work, and I'll let you all know when and if we do it, and you all can come out and help us, because it would be a great benefit, and I will let you all know when that happens, hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so. And that is all.
Thank you. Senator Summer Schaefer.
Hi everyone, hope everyone had a good break, and welcome to the new members. It was Reem's birthday, so like we all are gonna sing.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Reem. Happy birthday to you.
Cool. So I just have a couple of announcements. I've been working closely with a couple of individuals on getting peer-to-peer education started on our campus, and there was a campus-wide email sent out for students that want to be a part of this peer-to-peer education group, and we're going to be having a training, and it's going to be finalized by the end of spring, and it will be starting up next fall. And so the application went out to the entire student body, so just to look out for that application if that's something that you would like to be a part of. The Senate meetings are Mondays at 5 p.m. If any of you want to come to that. And we've been working on the Feminism Awareness Week as well, and it's been going really well. It's going to be week 6. Definitely, we have reservations and everything, so that's what it's going to be, week 6. So I hope you all come out to that, it's going to be really great. Also, I was wondering if I know the new members got training, but if there was going to be a training just so that I can let Rhonda know who was planning on doing this training. Yeah, so that was only it.
We'll talk about it.
Okay, cool, I was just wondering. Okay, thank you.
Senator Delaney.
Hi everyone. So
I'm bringing this to you on behalf of Priscilla and myself. Is this really loud? No, okay. So we had a lot of roadblocks with the scheduling of the Week of Kindness that were out of our control and really unforeseen. So thank you so much to all the senators that still helped out and supported us. It really meant a lot to see you all there. And it really lifted our spirits because it was not, I didn't feel very kind at that moment, but we're making it more like a quarter of kindness so that we can have more of an impact. So we'll be tabling throughout the quarter. We're going to try to get something set up with like the Therapy Fluffies, doing a collab with them during midterms, and our marketing, etc. So if any of you want to jump in on that, and if you have any ideas or want to help us plan any new events, please contact me because that's still happening.
Thank you. Senator Katharina Second. Oh, by the way, if you have nothing you wish to announce, you can simply say pass.
Okay. Well, I just want.
You guys do it.
Nancy.
I just want to say that as nervous as I was to, join Senate and be part of these meetings, I'm still pretty nervous, but I'm more excited to work with you all and basically just work on projects that I'm just really excited. Like hearing all these things, like I wasn't informed that all these things go on campus, and I'm so appreciative of this position, and I will work as hard as I can to fill the spot and do more.
Thank you so much for that. Senator Chanda.
Hello everyone. I'm super excited too. I'm a little nervous, but this is really cool, and I'm excited to do big things with it. I saw the GCAP presentation. I thought that was really cool, and I really want to help work with that. And I think I'm on the GCAP committee now, right? So,
Congratulations.
I'm definitely gonna check that out. But one thing I have started already, I made an appointment with the undeclared advisor for CHAS, and I'm already trying to figure out one way to help undeclared students more and make them feel not as lost right when they come in, because that was a big problem with me. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so that's something I'm working on. Good job. That's it.
Personnel Director Ashley Verano.
Welcome, John, Katharina, and Traylon. I already spoke with John separately, but if Katharina and Traylon, we could talk maybe after, or you could give me your emails on the group meet. I'd really appreciate it so I can place you in committees.
Irish Director Jessica Ortiz.
Pass. Just kidding. Everyone's like, I never pass. But I have several campaigns that I'm working on. But before I do that, I wanted to welcome the senators, and I know Ashley just mentioned it. Outreach committee needs senators, but you don't have to if you want to. But if you want to be on the best committee, just kidding. But no, we do, and I mean, I would look forward to working with any projects, whether it be with outreach or not. I open up my office or my spare time, the little that I have, to any project that you like, even if it's within the office, outside. I'm very known with different communities, and I can definitely help you out with anything. If it's a project that you want to take on, I'm your girl. Another campaign that we're working on with USUS is the Fight for 15. So I'm going to pass out flyers to my left and right. And there's also a sign-in sheet. Excuse my dyslexic writing because I write sing instead of sign. But I actually printed out sign-in sheets if y'all wanted to sign up. Just like I mentioned before, excuse the typo. But yeah, it's a great opportunity. The rides are being provided. It's going to take place on April 15th. We're going to be, excuse me? If you wanted to attend, you would just put your information on there. So the rides are being provided. We're having a bus leave at 7 a.m. from Lot 24. We'll be back around 3:30 to 4. Lunch will be provided, and we're also providing a small breakfast of conchas and coffee. So it's basically like bread and coffee. And it's a great opportunity if you wanted to get involved. We meet with USUS. We change the time. USUS is still meeting NCSP. We're going to be meeting 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. Oh wait, well I mean we're all going to be here. But it's a great opportunity. There's different campaigns that we work on through USUS. This is being one. The other being making sure that all the apparel in the student store is sweatshop free. Right now we still have a campaign going on for JanSport to be outside of the student store, and we're moving forward with that. We actually did strike a deal with the chancellor. I'm not sure, surprisingly they're not here, but we did get Yeah, 30% of it's a possibility that 30% of the clothing will be made through Altagracia, which is a sweatshop-free, the only sweatshop-free company. But the difference, we're gonna have to shift our campaign because now they're getting so much business that we don't want to create the only sweatshop-free company to become a sweatshop factory. So we're hoping to shift our campaign to make sure that we're inclusive to everyone and that we do not create a sweatshop factory. If there's anyone interested in anything regarding USAS, CSP, or the Fight for 15, oh, I didn't even say the CSP announcement. Thank you to all the individuals who came out to the Cesar Chavez 5K. I know we had a team set up, but I didn't get a chance to contact people, and then there was a few people who I briefly mentioned it to, and they weren't going to be able to go. But I appreciate those who did volunteer, or were interested, or even thought about being interested. Moving forward, we do have a lot of events coming up for CSP. Our ex-official will not be able to come to the meetings. He's going to try to, but he said that he had his class scheduled. So for Raza Assembly, we have a getaway fundraiser April 21st. So I'm a big Dodger fan, and that day that day is going to be LA against the Bay. So it's a Giants and Dodgers fan, and it's a game at Getaway. So if y'all can come out and support Raza Assembly, the funds will be going towards youth conference.
When is it?
April 21st. So Tuesday the 21st.
Going down on a Tuesday.
Yeah. So I really would appreciate if y'all come out. We do have a lot of upcoming events. We have Semana de la Raza, which is a week-long event that Raza Assembly hosts. We have so many different events. I'll make sure to post them. I don't know if we're going to do the big calendar again. I'll try to just kind of keep it through the email. But if anything, I'll be announcing it. That's as of now, that's our biggest thing that's coming up. Fight for 15 is next Wednesday. We have a La Paz trip. They had mentioned it. Well, it's not my event, but it's Santali's. I don't know if he's going to bring it up, but that's coming up. But there's a lot of good events if y'all are coming out. One huge thing that Raza Assembly hosts every year is the 26th annual Chicano Latino Youth Conference. So this youth conference is amazing. I was privileged enough to come as a high school student, and I was, chair of it one year, and it was amazing to plan it, coming through this outreach event, planning it, and seeing how others are impacted, and now there's students on campus that attended this event when I planned it. So it's just, it would be great to see all of ASUCR come out to this event, possibly host a workshop or anything like that. That is going to take place April 25th. As of now, we have 500 students confirmed. Last year, we had about 1,000 students come on campus. So we're definitely going to need a lot of volunteers, or y'all can just come out to our fundraisers to help, fund these events. As of now, we need about $3,000, but I'm trying to get as much as we can. We fundraised about $7,000, and we still need to, come up with that funds. But we always pull through some way, somehow, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you all.
Thank you, Jessica. Elections Director, Stephanie Rose.
The Angels beat your Dodgers last week. On a side note, thank you for everybody for your cooperation with the elections process so far. Yeah, shots fired.
I know.
Our next debate is the Executive Cabinet debate. That's next week, April 15th from 1 to 2 p.m. in the Hub Plaza. Shout out to our moderators in the back. Thanks for all your help. So once again, I'd really like to see support from all of the Horseshoe members, even if you're not running this year. I'd still like you to support the elections process in general. So I'd really like to see you all there at the debate next week.
President Pro Tem Devin Plaza.
Hello everyone and welcome to our new senators. LRC meetings will be Monday from 10:10 to 11:30. If I can confirm the conference room by tomorrow, they'll be in the conference room. If not, they'll be in the Senate Chambers. And I know I spoke with Trey and John about joining, and I spoke with you a little bit earlier today, but we can talk later more. Also, I will set up a meeting with the dean, and if anyone else wants to kind of hop on that, so then John and Trey can kind of introduce themselves, and if you want to hop on for your meeting for the quarter, we can go ahead and do that. And then, there's something else. Oh, if if you all, the three of you, need anything, I'm here to kind of help you as senators, and like if you have any concerns, you can come talk to me. My door is metaphorically always open, but just call me.
Vice President of Finance, Irish Shen.
So Gamma Phi Beta is having our annual Crescent Classic. It will be held this Saturday from 4:30 to 9 on the UCR track field. It will be a 5K color run, so if you all want to come watch or join the race, you can get a ticket from me.
President Afi Karim.
Welcome to all the incoming senators. I look forward to seeing big things or big help from you all. Also, one of our current justices graduated, retired. So there is application for consideration of nomination up on Scott Jobs.
Senate Secretary Delia Chopper.
Pass.
Parliamentarian Mohammad Hussain. Pass. External Affairs Abraham Galvan.
Pass.
Vice President Campus Internal Affairs Fernando Echeverria.
I just wanted to welcome the new senators, and if I did have a request for Ashley. Katarina really wants to be part of the GCAP committee, so I'm going to allow for there to be like multiple senators on the committee rather than just the two.
You tried to be senators. The best committee.
Yeah, Fernando, I think that'd be great if more senators could be on her committee too, but there are academic Senate committees which only allow for senators to sit on them. So those are the ones that I need to focus on first, because Akeem and Carlton both sat on a couple academic Senate committees.
I'm just letting you know, just in case she does ask you.
Yes,
It's cool with me.
As long as
I don't mind it.
The bylaws say 2, but most senators are sitting on 3, so as long as Trailer and Trailer don't have them sitting on more than 2, then I think that's something that we can work out.
We'll just kind of go through. You can talk with them after.
Yeah, so then I also have a lot of other events planned for this entire quarter. So if anyone wants to jump on, go ahead. We have the Multicultural Festival coming up. We have a couple of different fairs. We have the diversity fair that's going to happen in a couple of weeks as well. It's going to be an international mixer, so we're going to get students from the International Resource Center over here on campus. There's someone that we've never serviced before, and they're really excited for the event we're going to throw them. And also Food Truck Festival, if you haven't signed up to volunteer, that is also still open for you to volunteer. So I'll resend the link to Senate, and that's going to be on the 15th. So that's it.
Great, thank you. Marketing and Promotions Director, Richard Cobb.
Hey everyone, once again, Tech Road Sentiments, welcome to the new senators. It's glad to see some new faces here. A couple of announcements I have. First, the marketing committee will be meeting Wednesdays at noon. So once again, if you're planning any events this quarter, even if it's not fully fleshed out, just come speak to me and we can start planning out a good way to market your event. Next, the food truck, please go ahead and like the Food Truck Festival page on Facebook, because we are starting the truck releases tonight. So the first 3 trucks are coming out tonight. I put a link onto the ASUCR Facebook for that. So if you all can just like and share those truck release pictures, just get everyone hyped up, that would be really helpful. In addition, I'll be putting 4x6 cards for the Food Truck Festival in everyone's mailboxes, so please just check out for that, and if you can hand those out to your friends and your peers, and if you're walking around campus, just want to hand them out to students, that'd be awesome as well. Also, I made a flyer and a cover photo for the debates announcements for the last 2 debates remaining. So if you can help out with that as well, just support it on the Instagram, maybe share it, maybe make it your cover picture if you don't really mind too much for the next 2 days. Just get some publicity going for elections as well. In addition, if you do want to volunteer for the Food Truck Festival, I can give you an email. Rajit is taking care of that. He's on Internal Affairs. And you can email nair003@ucr.edu. Just email them with your name, when you're available, and your shirt size, and we can put you down. If you do want to volunteer, I am ordering the t-shirts tomorrow, so if you want to, for sure, make sure you get your size, please go ahead and email Rajit tonight. And last but not least, on April 27th from 6 to 8 p.m., Gerardo from Internal Affairs and the Internal Affairs Office is hosting the International Mixer. So we're going to be creating some artwork for them and helping them promote that. But if you're available, I would definitely encourage going. I'm planning on being there. I think it'll be a great time. So that's all.
Thank you, Raheem. Senator Harden-Sango.
Yeah, I know it's only week 2, but it's never too early to start studying for your classes. And I'm really looking forward to this quarter.
Good evening, everybody. That's a tribute to Akeem. Shout out to all the other senators. School, but welcome to the 3 other senators. We're really happy to have you, and I'm very excited to work with you all. I have a few announcements. I'm really excited to leave. I'm sorry, so bear with me. I understand your frustrations. But my first one is that the Leadership Conference Committee that Delaney and I sat on is looking for new people to sit on that committee. So our planning committee convened during fall. So they'll be doing the same thing next year, and then we'll be having the event tentatively as planned, as we had it this year during winter quarter. So if any of y'all are interested and will be staying around for next year, please talk to me or Delaney. Thank you, Summer, for mentioning the Feminism Empowerment or Feminism Awareness Month. That's going to be happening this quarter. Summer and I, as well as Devin, are deliberating whether we want to create a committee that will talk about this event and plan it annually, or if it can be absorbed into any other standing committee. I think that might be a question that Ashley can answer, but we'd love to hear input from everyone else on the horseshoe. And lastly, I sat on the Middle Eastern Student Center Search Committee for the director position as it was opened. That committee consisted of myself. I was the only student, Joe Verada, Student Life, Adam Daniels, Professor Ramadan from the Arabic department, and Josh from Native American programs. And we were supposed to have the final decision according to Joe, but unfortunately the final decision was made by administration. There was a general consensus, but I do believe that that consensus was neglected, and it's unfortunate that Jim isn't here because I would like him to address why that was neglected. And there was no official vote either, so there's no way that we could really prove that there was a consensus, although there was head nodding all around the committee. So the position is filled. My suggestion was not taken into consideration, although there was a lot of opposition from other students for professional reasons. So I just wanted closure from the administration, and I wanted to say that I have zero confidence, as well as other students from the Middle Eastern Student Center. They also have zero confidence in higher administration because our requests were neglected. So I'll probably be sending this link to Jim so he can arrange a meeting, but I did want to tell you all that for transparency purposes. Thank you. Oh, and thank you for the birthday song. On a lighter note.
Thank you. Senator Katie Escobedo.
Pass.
Senator Traylon Bradley Bowles.
Hello everyone. Yeah, it's a good feeling to be here. I cannot believe I'm surrounded by all these wonderful people here at UCR. You're all like student leaders and so recognizable around your campus. I look forward to this quarter. I know that I'm here for only so long, but you know what? I love to do work and I love to do new things and I love to meet new people and create new ideas and get projects rolling. So if there's anything that you feel that maybe you could use my type of skill set in, I just like to, build things up and do a lot of work. So my type of skill set, reach out to me. I'm always here. My door's open as well. And I'm just really excited, guys, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Jackie Coburn.
Hi, y'all. Okay, I have 2 things. My first thing, today is a really important day. If you are a fan of Lost, today is a really important day. Today is 4/8/15, the first 3 numbers of the 6 numbers in Lost. So it's been a really important day, and if you are lost like myself, I'm sure it's also been really emotional for you as well. Second of all, God, Lost. Second of all, so Colette and I are still collaborating on the Undie Run thing. we want to have it, I think now week 5, and we really liked that our pantry thing, maybe possibly making it like an our closet thing. And so students would come in whatever, ideally they would come to the underground and clothes they want to donate. They'd then be washed and donated, and it could even be like a kickoff to a future our closet for future students who also want to donate clothes to the needy or something like that. For what? Okay, and I'm also announcing Me Week, which is Middle Eastern Student Center's celebrating culture, tradition, and unity, April 13th through 16th, and they're going to have really cool events like Islamophobia, The Real Enemy, Diamond Stars, True Life, Free Minds, Open Mic Night, some super duper awesome things. Support your Middle Eastern fellow students.
Thank you.
Whoop whoop! And that's about it for me. Yeah, go Lost.
Thank you, Jackie. And last but not least, Senator Ali Isles.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Happy spring quarter. It's a season of a million philanthropy events, as I'm sure everyone knows. Yeah. So starting, or first one I can think of off the top of my head is Delta Tau Delta is hosting Delta Queen. Not this Thursday, next Thursday, April 16th. It's a philanthropy event to raise money for City of Hope. It's a great cause. If anyone can make it, would like more information, just let me know. I'm going to be emceeing, so that'll be fun. And then, not for a while, but May 16th, DG is having Anchor Splash at the Rec Center. I know a bunch of people here are already in organizations that are on teams. But if there's any interest, we could create an ASUCR team if we really wanted to. If not, everyone should still go and come support, and there's food and people. Are there only 20 teams? I don't think so. They're still accepting teams. Sweet. So yeah, that's all. All right, bye.
Okay.
Brief closed session.
From a key. You've made
It is memorable.
Also in honor of the team, I just want to remind you senators that the hen that sits on her eggs suffocates her chicks.
So loud.
It's an acute
That was definitely last Okay. Wow. I'm definitely glad to end on that note. So our next item on the agenda is closed session. So at this time, I'd like to thank the galley and I think almost exclusively the Highlander at this point. Thank you for coming out. We appreciate all students coming out. You're always there.
Very reliable.
Watching. Always.
I will have a 10-minute recess.